Hey guys, I thought I'd do a long overdue garden update since we went away on holidays in December and January. Been busy with work and now it's the beginning of February, so I'll show you what's left alive and how it's all growing. We'll start here with this self-sown gourd plant that's right in the gateway, but I'm going to let it go see how it grows because it gets plenty of water from the tap here. I have my Brahmi, which has just really taken off this season. I can really harvest it now. Heaps of leaves on. I think it's Brahmi, I'll have to double check that. But it's really going well. This was where my beans were. They're all finished now. All my beans had nematodes in them, so I'm going to have a big nematode fixing thing with some marigolds and some mustard greens or something like that. I haven't tried dealing with them yet, so there'll be a new thing to try. It looks like I might have, yeah I do, I've got spider mites again on my eggplants, so we'll have to clean those off. I might wait till these eggplants are finished and then over winter fight the spider mites again. So this is where the other beans were. Again, they all had nematodes, pretty poor harvest. The climbing ones did a lot better, like these climbing ones did pretty well. Had a lot of this bean bug on them, so it's pretty much ruined anything left in the, can't quite get it to focus there. There we are. So they feed on them or inject stuff, I'm not quite sure exactly what they do, but yeah, they certainly ruin the beans inside. So between them and the nematodes we haven't had a lot of good seeds for next year. Over here we have some sweet potato that are finally taking off now that the kale has gone that was suffocating them. And this watermelon plant that's trailing all over the garden, that's coming from the spot here, it's going up and amongst all this as well. That's taken off. It needs more water though for sure, but I've had a bit of rain lately so it's not too bad. This is where I had the rocket that's going to seed some here. Yeah, pretty much it's just rocket and weeds in there. And these are my chia plants that are really tall. Those ones are taller than me and still have yet to flower, but I was just reading, I think they planted them a bit in the wrong season. They need the cold to flower, so we'll see what happens with these. I'm going to plant some more seeds though for next season. In here was I didn't show you the video of this, but just before we went on holiday we made a little shade house to, well, not so much shade, but to eliminate the fruit fly from attacking our zucchinis that we had in here. Well, the fruit fly was great. It didn't have any fruit fly bites in here at all, but some moths got in here just before we got back and they laid eggs all over these leaves, and just the caterpillars just completely ate them to shreds. So there's nothing left, and they had aphids all over them, and it didn't really do well in here with the mildew as well. A lot of powdery mildew, so not sure what we'll, haven't really had a lot of success with zucchinis over summer here, so yeah, not sure what we'll do next summer. We might try them in here in winter and see if they do any better. Yeah, basically that's about it. We have some more sweet potato in the corner there and some more lovely weeds that need pulling. Over here we have some more chia up the back of this patch. This patch hasn't had anything in it for almost since last season when we had cabbage. So I had some broccoli along the edge, but I haven't really had anything else. There's a few remaining kale bits I need to feed to the chickens, but that's about it. I have a new fresh patch of nutgrass to deal with and some regular grass and weeds. This was a patch that I put a second lot of beans in after I'd had peas the season before, and it actually amazingly did better than the other beans, but still I imagine, I just haven't actually pulled one up, but I imagine that they have, yeah, looks like it's probably got nematodes as well. That one's a bit rotten, I might try another. That one's alright. Yeah, I think it has got nematodes. You can see it's quite bubbly there at the root. So yeah, I'll have to find some solution to my nematode problems. Now over here is the patch where I did have the nut grass, and it looks like it needs weeding, and then I need to put the dirt back. Over here we have the area where I definitely did have nematodes, and I wasn't sure how corn would go, but apparently corn is nematode resistant. It's done really, really well. Had a great crop of corn off it, and these are just the stalks left, and I even beat the rats to harvest, which was great. This here is the yellow cherry tomato that we have been growing ever since last winter, and it's still got green, still producing. It just keeps going. I just haven't got around to pulling it out, but it just keeps on producing. So this is kale, which once again needs to be fed to the chickens. I had a lot of problems with aphids and these little caterpillars over the summer period with the kale, so it didn't really work so well. And here we have a lot of the green or white zucchini. It's kind of a paler colour. I'll find one to show you. So these are the ones that I actually planted in the middle of the corn patch, and they just grew out from the middle of the corn patch and spread and continue to grow. So this one here has grown from there all the way out, and over there is where it's growing at the moment. So it's done really well. The snake beans that I planted up the corn took a long time to grow, and when they finally started growing, the corn was too brittle and falling all over the place, and I wasn't really here to put some proper stakes and stuff up, so it's kind of growing all over the place. I'm not quite sure what I'll do with that, because it's still producing flowers and stuff, so I might try and find some stakes and see if I can save any of it. Over here we have the tomato plant that I cloned. You have to have a look at the previous video on that. I think I've put one up, and it's producing so well. Like, it's got so many tomatoes that I really need to cover them so that I can save them from the fruit fly, which I might do straight after this video. So it's doing really well, and it needs staking as well because all the tomatoes are on the ground. Over here I have okra, which apparently gets pretty bad nematodes as well. So I'm surprised that it's done as well as it has, because I'm pretty sure there's nematodes in this patch. But it's looking really well. We've picked a couple of okra meals off this already, and there's plenty more coming. This here is my yacon, which is going really awesome. It has had some dead leaves on it. Not sure about the nematodes in that, but I'm hoping that we have a really good harvest of that, because I really like yacon. It's quite a fresh, crunchy vegetable. Over here we have more zucchini and squash. This is the white zucchini, so it's not so green as the other one. It's really tasty, really nice sliced. Oh, here's a big one over here to show you. It's a really nice big one under there. So have the squash there, wild cherry tomato there, sunflower seeds. I don't know if they're going to be any good. I ran out of battery before, but we got up to the pumpkin. So this is the pumpkin that's going all the way along there. I'm having a problem getting any fruit, I think mainly because of fruit fly. I think, not 100% sure, but I'm hoping to cover some in the near future so I can get some fruit out of them. Over the fence we have a stash of sweet potato leaves. Now, I knew that you could eat sweet potato leaves, didn't really know what to do with it, but I finally tried them and they're so tasty. I use them just like spinach, and they're just much milder taste because they don't have the, these bugs are eating them. They don't have the oxalic acid in them as much as what spinach does. So yeah, they're really, really good. While I was waiting for the phone to charge, I decided to tidy up this tomato bush. So this is all from one tomato. I've made this kind of wooden frame kind of thing with lots of string around it, just for the tomato, each one to have something to grow up. And I've also covered the fruit. I've done a bit different this time. I don't have any stockings, but I have this cloth left over from frost cloth. It's perishing. It's pretty brittle now. You can rip it pretty easily. And I've just used a rubber band, so we'll see how that goes. Yeah, that's about it. The only thing I might do a little bit later is actually cover all the stem that's on the ground there with dirt, because you can actually get it to produce more roots and therefore support the plant even more. So I might do that, build up some dirt in the middle there. That's about it for this main garden area. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you the nematodes on this this is a lazy housewife climbing bean, and it actually produced a lot of fruit. It grew, I thought, fairly well considering that lump of nematodes on it. So as you can see, I really do have a big problem there. So those ones are going straight into the rubbish bin. Over here is our compost bin, and as you can see, it's been completely overcome with this tomato bush that I let grow up in it, just because we didn't have tomatoes anywhere else. And I mean, you can see the tomatoes all over it. It's really gone crazy, so it must have been good soil. Hopefully there's some goodness left in it, and I'm going to spread that around my garden. It's certainly dropped back a lot in volume there, so it looks like it'll be ready to sieve out. There's also a corn here that's grown for the chickens, so I'm going to let that dry out and keep the seed and try and grow some more. And this is where we had the potatoes. Picked all the potatoes. I think I got about another 10 kilo. So it wasn't really a huge harvest, not as much as I would have expected. There's still little sprouts there from potatoes that I missed, but yeah, it was a good try. Best potato growth that we've probably had. So yeah, we just need to try, and maybe I'll go out into the paddock a bit next time. So we have here our chickens and the gourd that's growing up the fence there. The chicken yard. These are my baby chickens. Wouldn't know it. But look at their gorgeous colouring. They're a really beautiful mix that I've created. My own little version of hamburgs, and I really like them. I actually prefer them to my other hamburgs. So might keep a couple of them and see what happens when I breed them with each other. Here we have I think it's a gourd, not sure, it's not really doing that well. I don't really give it any attention on water. I think this might be like mud. No, I don't know. I think it's a herb of some description, but I'm not really sure what that is. Under here I did have some turmeric. Looks like the chickens have dug it all up. Some very sad ginger. This is a basil bush that I grew from cutting, so that's not even a year's growth. It's really powered away. And these here are my arrowroot, so they've really shot away. Then lots of root development there, lots of new shoots coming out, especially since we've had the rain. So I have to figure out how to harvest them and eat some. See what they even taste like. This is my last lemongrass. I hope I keep it alive because the chickens have dug all the other ones up. I might need to put a bit of protection around that and give it a bit more TLC. This here is a spaghetti melon that I didn't really get anything off because the fruit fly kept stinging the fruit before the fruit even flowers. So I'll just show you. Here's the fruit here. But, yeah, even before it, even before it flowers it gets stung, although this one here can't flower because of all the stuff around it. But yeah, it's a bit of a sad outcome. Lots of powdery mildew and lots of ladybugs eating the powdery mildew all over it. Badly need to mow here and cut down all this. I don't know what it is, but it's gone a bit crazy. So we had the purple climbing beans here, which are gone. There's one lone okra that survived, and yeah, it's a bit of a jungle in there. But here we have a amazing cucumber plant. I've just picked so many cucumbers. It's the only one that's really producing cucumbers now, and just really picked a lot off it. Looks like the chickens might have discovered this one. I might have to put it up a bit higher. So yeah, no, I've really enjoyed those, and I've uncovered the capsicum, and they were looking really sad. See these kind of leaves, they weren't really happy at all. And so I was gonna pull it all off and see what, give them a bit more air and cut them back. But even before I had a chance to get to them, all this fresh growth came with the new rain. So cut back a lot of the old stuff, letting this new fresh stuff grow. There's lots of flowers, so we might get a second run of capsicums hopefully before the season's out. So this here, I forgot to say, this is the wicking bed that I never really put on the web how I did it. But it's doing really, really well. It needs some more soil topped up. It's really, really dropped down in the soil depth, but other than that, it's looking really good. On the other side here, we made another wicking bed, and we put some capsicum in it just before we left. But what happened was this got blocked, and it got overfilled with water. Didn't get enough water before that, and they really have got quite stunted growth. But the cucumber seems to have managed right. It had, I don't know, I think I pulled off about 50 caterpillars when I came home, but it's still doing alright, still producing some good cucumbers, so really happy with that. Inside the main garden we have some more sweet potato, our pawpaw trees are doing really, really well. Have some more green pawpaws soon. Our mother basil bush, might even cut that one out soon, that we've got some other good ones. Some more pumpkin. This is a bit of a maize in here as well. Sweet potato in there. Pumpkin trailing. And we have here a gourd that's really going well. Our basil that's all going to seed. And this is the mother tomato bush, which I think has finally died completely, I think. But it still had tomatoes on it until just a little while ago. And we have some more chia in the background, and somewhere in amongst it all I still have some strawberry plants, but desperate need of weeding. So that's about it, folks, and I'll give you an update when I've cleaned it all up and starting to get ready for the next season, which starts the 1st of March. Okay, catch ya, bye.